seizure.
Medical miracles, a second chance at life.
That's what's coming up right now on Montel. Welcome and thank you so much for joining us today. You know, many give up hope when they're diagnosed with a devastating illness, but today's guest took control of their lives despite what doctors had to say. Now, they've been given a second chance on life. My first guest knew something was terribly wrong with her daughter only weeks after she was born. I want you to take a look at this.
I realized that something was wrong with Grace pretty much about a week after we brought her home. She did a lot of eye rolling and she did a lot of non-tracking, like when I would take a rattle or a toy, she never seemed to follow me. When I would look at her, it was like she looked through me instead of at me. So we went to the ophthalmologist and Grace started to do this movement with her eyes and started rolling her eyes. And he said to me, you know, ma'am, I think that your daughter's having seizures. By 5 months of age, they had to place a feeding tube. And she was blind, still suffered from seizures. Her stem cell was shutting down and she was dying and they didn't know why. And I remember the geneticists came in and they said, we know what's wrong with Grace. I was so happy. In my mind, the fact that they found a diagnosis meant that we could treat Grace. That unfortunately, in the same breath that she said, we have a diagnosis, they told me that I had no prognosis. And they told me that she had this rare disease called mitochondrial cytochrome C reductase deficiency. At that time, they could only find 4 other kids in the world cited in medical journals as having this. Grace was 1.5 years, and no child had lived past the age of 2. They told us to take Grace home, that, you know, I did everything I could do to get the diagnosis, and we found out what was wrong. And the problem is that it's a terminal disease. I couldn't imagine my life without my daughter, and I certainly couldn't imagine burying my daughter.
Please welcome Shannon to the show. And so often, so many other people are sitting at home right now are in the same boat. They go to a doctor, and a doctor will give us a diagnosis. And we have been raised and taught our entire lives to pay attention to what authority figures have to say. And one of the top authority figures that they put in our face is a doctor. But what happens is, a lot of times, parents will listen to what a doctor says, take that as gospel, walk out the door, and in some cases, do exactly what they were going to try to make you do, and that was go home and watch your child die.
Yes.
Correct?
Correct.
Grace is born. You carried her, everything went normal. Mm-hmm. Everything seemed normal through delivery, through birth. You started to notice something, because I think it's just part of an inherent what goes on inside of a mother, but you're looking at your baby. This is your first child?
Second.
Second, so you already knew what to expect.
Yes, I did.
Something's just not right.
Right. And I called our doctor many times. I mean, when we go back and we look, it was like over 45 times I called them and I said to them, something's not right with Grace.
And what were you seeing when you saw something wasn't right with her?
She wasn't, I was breastfeeding and she wasn't latching on, and I breastfed with my first daughter, so I knew what I was doing, and they kept...
She wasn't holding you, wasn't grabbing.
Exactly,
right?
like she wasn't latching, she wasn't tracking when I took a rattle to her. She did a lot of flipping with her eyes would roll up and down constantly, and it was like every time I went to get her, she just had this glazed look on her. It was as if, I mean, I always say she was looking through me. She never looked at me like my other daughter did.
And now, in hindsight, you know that during that period of time, had doctors paid attention to what you had said, they would have realized that early on your daughter was going through multiple seizures, seizure after seizure after seizure after seizure.
Yes.
That probably could have lessened some of the damage.
Absolutely.
No question.
No question.
All right, but we don't know this. So you go to see the doctor, she's normal, it's okay, stop being a hypochondriac mother. Finally, a doctor did note that that eye movement's not normal.
Right, and it was actually, we were supposed to see the neurologist in the same day at the clinic, and instead they met us at the hospital. And they did an EEG on her in the hospital, and within like 5 minutes admitted her, and
knew she was having
she was having seizures.
This is at the 6-month mark too, correct?
This was at 3 months.
And at 3 months, tell them, how much did your baby weigh?
My baby had continued to drop weight. By that time, she was probably back to 4 to 5 pounds.
A 3-month-old baby at 4 to 5 pounds?
Yes.
Which normally is around 14 to 15 pounds.
Right.
18 pounds, somewhere before you're a big baby, about 18 pounds. So 4 to 5 pounds. And now she's not putting on any weight at all.
No, she wasn't putting on any weight. And so then she was failure to thrive, and her seizures.
That diagnosis came.
That came when, it's funny because that didn't come until we were in the hospital. Yet I was taking Grace to the doctor the whole time. But until we got admitted into the hospital, then all of a sudden at 5 months, they come to us and they say, we have to place a feeding tube. That your daughter is going to die if we don't place a feeding tube.
And at this point in time, not only they can come up to you and tell you symptomatically what's wrong, but nobody has an answer to what's wrong.
No. They felt Grace's seizures had turned into infantile spasms to the brain because they went untreated. And then they started to say to me, there's something more. There's an underlying cause for your daughter's seizures and her failure to thrive. And that is when our journey started.
Let's talk about that for half a second. Somebody looks you in the face and says, your child has, and see, for those of you who don't understand what this means, failure to thrive means we don't know.
And that's what they would say. And when
they don't know.
They don't know. They said, we have the seizure medicine, and we don't know what's wrong. And I pushed and pushed to say, you got to tell me what's wrong, because I have another daughter, and I need to know why you're telling me my daughter is dying. And you can't just tell me that and then expect me to say, okay, let's go home and be a family.
And just wait for her to die.
And wait for her to die. That wasn't something that I could comprehend.
I gotta take a break, but I'm gonna tell you, you did more in prompting the doctors to dig harder. There's medication, there's things out there that a lot of us don't even have the slightest clue exist. But the only way you're gonna find out about it is if you start digging and doing the research yourself. That's exactly what you did, right? You started digging.
I dug.
They gave you the diagnosis, and you dug. And when we come back, you're gonna find out something that will blow you out the door. I'm gonna take a little break. We'll be back right after this.
I went with parents that I met throughout the time that went and picked out baby caskets, and it was something that I couldn't let my baby die. I didn't know how to let go.
You feel like a 24-hour pressure cooker, that there is a steam that's building up inside of you constantly that is released when you tick. I went through a whole lifetime of basically trial and error of different medications and going to hospitals and them saying, Jeff, we don't have anything else to give you.
If you have allergies, discover new Alivert Citrus Burst. The instant it touches your tongue, it bursts into action. And you know allergy relief is on its way. New Alivert Citrus Burst. Experience the relief.
Green Bay gets a little bit colder than most places, but sensitivity was probably at its worst when it was windy. I went into the dentist. He said, try this first before we do anything else. Since I started using Sensodyne, the sensitivity problem is over and done with, and you almost forget that you even had that problem.
High blood pressure medication in Cleveland, Ohio.
Arthritis medicine in Caliente, California.
Cholesterol pills in Peoria, Illinois.
I'm Montel Williams. Mile by mile, Americans are getting help paying for medicine through the Partnership for Prescription Assistance.
PPA is a lifesaver.
I'm saving about $650.
It wasn't complicated at all.
5 days later, that was my medicine, and I jumped for joy.
If you need help, you don't have to wait for the bus to get on board. Just call 1-888-4PPA now to see if you may qualify. A trained specialist will help you apply. Just tell them the names of the medicine you take. You could get them free or nearly free.
With the PPA, I can take my medicine daily.
I would like to thank them 100 times, 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times.
I've always heard where there's a will, there's a way, and I think this was our way.
So whether you're in Morgantown, West Virginia, or Bangor, Maine, call this free service at 1-888-4PPA now. The Partnership for Prescription Assistance, on the road to helping you.
In the fast-paced world of culinary arts, there's never a dull moment as the kitchen ignites with creativity. With a Le Cordon Bleu diploma from Western Culinary Institute, you could be part of this. Professional chef instructors show you how to bring your creativity to this incredible industry. Can't you just see yourself doing what you love for a living? You'll love it. Call Western Culinary Institute now for a free brochure. Call 1-866-WCI-CHEF. That's 1-866-924-2433. Call now.
It's Izzy's meatiest dinner menu yet. Sunday through Tuesday, sizzling steak. Wednesday through Saturday, St. Louis-style smokehouse ribs. Plus peach pudding cake, new elephant ears, and other great desserts. Izzy's serving steak and ribs, pizza, and a whole lot more.
Garden Weasel, the 5-in-1 tool that makes gardening fun and easy. Garden Weasel, it's the original that keeps breaking new ground. Garden Weasel makes a great gift.
Available at Fred Meyer, Buy Mart, and participating Ace, True Value, and Do It Best hardware.
Are you friends with an ex and would like to tell them what they need to change about themselves? If so, call us at 1-800-MONTEL-2. That's 1-800-MONTEL-2.
We're talking today about medical breakthroughs that have given some people a second chance at life. And again, welcome Shannon to the show. I have to say, as much as your digging in to find out information was as important to what's happened in Grace and your daughter's life, this is really a testament also to the love of a mother, because, and I'm not saying that other mothers don't love their child if they don't do the amount of work, but this is a mother who said, I'm not taking that. You're not going to tell me my daughter's just going to die and nobody can explain to me why. I want a reason. That's really why you embarked upon this mission, correct?
It is.
So once given, and again, say what the diagnosis was, mitochondrial?
Cytochrome C reductase deficiency.
Which means?
Which means, that's what I said. What it means is that Grace lacks the energy-producing cells in her body.
And now, at this point in time, too, by the time they gave you the diagnosis, they already said to you, your daughter's blind.
But this time, we got her diagnosis when she was 1.5 years old.
Mm-hmm.
We were at a clinic. She just got done having a brain biopsy, and a muscle biopsy came back positive for this disease when we were at this other clinic, and they came and they told us, and at this time Grace would have been 1.5 years. She wasn't even 8 pounds at 1.5 years.
At 1.5 years?
She had a feeding tube.
And most babies are well into 25, 30 pounds by then.
Exactly. And she was fed through a feeding tube. She had a lot of seizures. She was not regulating her own temperature, so she had to be kept warm under heat lamps. She didn't hold her head up. I mean, she wasn't a normal developing baby physically, and she still was staring off. Even with all the medication, she was not a child that was present or there.
So then all of a sudden you see in the research, as you're looking, there's something that's out there, a little over here. A lot of doctors don't buy it, but this might be my last chance, correct?
That is correct.
And it was?
It was hyperbaric oxygen therapy.
Hyperbaric oxygen therapy. And, you know, when you say that to doctors, especially now we're starting to find out that this also has some ramifications for a lot of other illnesses.
Yes.
You find out about it? It's very expensive?
Very.
You had to raise the money on your own?
Raise the money. Family members sold everything they have. Communities came together to help us get the...
And Grace was how old at this point?
When we started hyperbaric therapy, Grace was 3 years old. She weighed approximately 15 pounds, between 12 and 15 pounds at age 3. She was blind, feeding tube, seizures. And most importantly, she didn't know who I was. I mean, Grace wasn't a child that knew that I loved her and I wanted her there. My purpose for doing this was that when we were told at Mayo Clinic to take Grace home, they actually told me that I needed to seek help. That I needed to get help. That I was holding on to something, and that I wasn't being a good mom to my other daughter because I was focusing so much on Grace. But I didn't know how I could go and pick out. I went with parents that I met throughout the time that went and picked out baby caskets, and it was something that I couldn't let my baby die. I didn't know how to let go, and I turned to hyperbarics to let go. I didn't know it was going to work, but it was the only thing that I didn't try, and I knew that if I didn't try it, I would never be a mother to Lily.
And let's back up for a second, because most of the children, they only saw 4 other cases like your daughter.
And they all died.
All died before the age of 2.
And they gave me her diagnosis at 1.5.
You started the hyperbaric treatments when?
3. I waited a year because I listened to my doctors that had taken care of her for so long.
And again, when she starts it, blind, feeding tube, Inability
Seizures.
to eat, seizures, inability to even really move or control any of her muscles.
Yeah, she didn't sit up. She didn't have that control. She didn't play like a normal 3-year-old.
After the 10th treatment, what happened to your daughter?
She was there. She looked at me instead of
Not only did she look at you, but she saw you.
She saw me.
This is a child who has been called blind by every doctor that's seen her. 10 treatments that doctors told this woman she's crazy for even attempting to do. Now you got a daughter that can see. The feeding tube is removed.
Yes.
She's starting to move her arms and limbs and muscles.
Yes.
And actually tracking your voice.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The hyperbarics brought her back to us. It brought her
We just saw a little piece of tape of her, I guess, after she started this process, what, after 20, she started crawling?
Yes, she started to, you know, we've done hyperbarics now for 3 years, but she started to wake up and she started to grasp things. And this is when she first started to crawl. And back then I remember, if that's all I get, I'm happy, you know, because she's crawling and she has her feeding tube removed and she can have some chances of normal life. I didn't really know what was going to happen in the future at this point still.
Let me take a little break. We'll be back right after this.
Every morning, you know, we get up and we go into the chamber, we get her ready for school, and it's difficult. She leads a normal life of a first grader, even though she still has some handicaps.
There's something different about Rachel.
You look happy and sick. You smoked.
Next, friends.
Tonight at 6 on Fox 12 Oregon.
On the next, everybody loves Raymond.
Where's your wedding ring?
Ray loses his wedding ring.
Alexis.
Now women find him irresistible.
I only had the ring on for a couple hours and I get hit on, like I almost started or something.
On the next, everybody loves Raymond.
Tonight at 7 on Fox 12 Oregon.
Concord Career Institute changes lives. Affordable and practical, Concord can help move you into a career as a surgical technologist. Surgical technologists perform essential tasks before, during, and after operations. Prepare for your future now.
And I am so glad I called because not only did I have a job, I now have a career.
Future looks much better than I thought it did.
Call 1-800-331-5972. That's 1-800-331-5972.
No matter where you are or where you want to go in Oregon or anywhere in the USA, you deserve a simple health care plan that's there when you need it. You deserve Health Net Options Plus, featuring comprehensive coverage, including alternative care options. Choose any Medicare physician across the nation without a referral. Our monthly plan premium is only $53 a month. It really is that simple. Call now at 1-800-949-8716 and discover the flexibility of Health Net Options Plus. 1-800-949-8716.
I want to create a workspace that makes people feel great.
I want to design the nightclub that people can't wait to get into.
Innovation. What does it mean? In interior design at the Art Institute, it's thinking in terms of color and texture, as well as form and function. It's planning down to the last detail. But most of all, it means being the creative professional you've always wanted to be. Interior design, the Art Institute of Portland. 1-800-886-1066.
Tomorrow, Montel.
Kidnapped, tortured, held captive for years in a warehouse with dozens of other girls forced to become sex slaves.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg.
How did she escape? Her whole shocking story.
Well, that's tomorrow on Montel. Now take a look at what we're working on for Thursday. 4 baffling murder cases only forensic evidence could crack.
He is looking up and looking at the face of his killer.
She says masked gunman murdered her husband, but why does the evidence point to her? True Crime Thursday. You went away to do a speaking engagement or something, did you not?
Yes, I did.
Right?
I talked to moms of special needs kids about hope and possibility, not giving up hope.
And while away?
How
many treatments had Grace been under?
By now, at that time, Grace had about 750 treatments over a 3-year period.
3-year period of time. And doctors who said the girl will never see, she's not going to be able to communicate, she's not going to be able to recognize people, brain function is pretty much gone, can't walk. While you were away, when you flew back in, what happened when you got off that airplane?
I saw my daughter walk to me out of her wheelchair, all on her own without anybody helping her. She walked right to me.
And this was 5 weeks ago. So since walking 5 weeks ago, it seems almost anything is going to be possible for Grace. Take a look at this.
She's a very happy child. The only thing different in Grace's life is that, you know, every morning, you know, we get up and we go into the chamber, we get her ready for school, and it's difficult.
Okay, Gracie. We do this every morning, 5:30 to 6:30. I know you're tired. Let's go.
The simple things in life, having Grace pick up. Just even pick up a banana. I'm like the happiest mother in the world that my daughter can pick up a little piece of banana and put it in her mouth. Those things are like huge to me.
Let's go to school. Let's go to school. Are you ready?
She walks to school with her sister. She leads a normal life of a first grader, even though she still has some handicaps. This is what we do. Every day when Grace gets off the school bus, we come to Wisconsin Hyperbarics, and this is the treatment room that Grace goes to every day, 5 days a week. She gets in one of these chambers. Let's go get your hood on. So then this is what we have to go through every day. We have a special hood that Grace puts on, and she's getting the 100% oxygen delivered to her. So that's what they do. They measure, and so it fits her particular. This is her own very own hood. Are you ready to get in? She loves the chamber. It's like a second home to her, so.
Up you go. Yep. Yep. Yep.
We're all done. That's right. Say bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you. See you later. Bye, guys. See you tomorrow.
I feel good because she used to not be able to do so many things, and now she can do all these wonderful things that she can never do before.
And this is an incredible thing because I never thought that this would ever happen. Happy birthday. This was Grace's first birthday party with friends. Whoa. So this is a really, really cool thing.
Developmentally, Grace is still a little bit behind,
Yes.
right? However, you're seeing improvements even in that area, are you not? She couldn't speak.
Right, and now as she is talking, she's mimicking her sister and she's engaging. Her teachers catch up every single day. We see some improvement. Every day we see something new in Grace.
So I go back to the thought, had you never, ever taken this chance, what could life be right now?
If I had never started hyperbaric therapy, I have 100% know that Grace would be an angel in heaven. She was dying, literally dying. Her body was shutting down. And I know that if I would not have pushed this so much and wouldn't have gone with my gut to know if I would have given up hope. If you don't have hope, you have nothing. And I couldn't, there's selfish reasons. I mean, it was that I, as a mom, just couldn't let my baby die because I just didn't know how I could live. And I had to live for Lily. So her being here is because of the hyperbaric therapy, but it's all about the hope and the people that you surround yourself with. You have to surround yourself with positive people, physicians that are innovative, that it's okay to take chances.
What do all those physicians who told you to give up, all those family members who said, you're wasting your time, what are they saying to you now that they see that you've got a daughter who's thriving?
Still have those doctors that will just stick to their guns no matter what.
I'm going to tell you, now, that right there, that's part of the problem that we have with the American medical system, because you got these people who have more attitude about their own personal opinions and whether or not somebody's countered what they believe rather than searching for the truth. Thank you so much for being an example of what mothers should do. Absolutely. I got to take a little break. When we come back, I'm going to tell you another one. We have a man who had difficulty walking, talking, just being out in public. Why? Because he suffers from another kind of not a rare disease. It's a disease that's part of the fabric of our culture, and a lot of us don't understand anything about it. You don't know how much this man suffered, but a groundbreaking surgery turned his life completely around. To find out what it was when we come back. We'll take a break. We'll be back right after this.
I refuse to live my life the way it is right now. I have something inside that's deeper, better, that I need to get out. And if my doctors can't help me, I'm going to do it myself.
You know, there are still some people who don't know that the cost of their diabetes testing supplies may be covered by Medicare. Well, if you have diabetes and you're on Medicare, your testing supplies may be covered. Your monitors, your test strips, your Lancets, whether you use insulin or not. So to find out if you qualify, call Liberty Medical. Here's how it works. Liberty is a Medicare participating provider. They bill Medicare and your insurance company. You pay nothing up front. Your testing supplies are delivered right to your door and no charge for shipping. You have nothing to worry about because when it's time to reorder, Liberty will remind you. Call Liberty Medical. They can help you live a better life.
To find out if you qualify for home delivery of diabetes testing supplies, call Liberty at 1-800-256-7071. That's 1-800-256-7071.
In the fast-paced world of culinary arts, there's never a dull moment as the kitchen ignites with creativity. With a Le Cordon Bleu diploma from Western Culinary Institute, you could be part of this. Professional chef instructors show you how to bring your creativity to this incredible industry. Can't you just see yourself doing what you love for a living? You'll love it. Call Western Culinary Institute now for a free brochure. Call 1-866-WCI-CHEF. That's 1-866-924-2433. Call now.
Hi, I'm with Sonus, North America's largest hearing care professional network. I'll screen your hearing for free and help you choose the Sonus solution that's right for you.
Right now, get a fully digital hearing solution for just $999, a savings of almost 50%. So call or visit your local Sonus hearing professional today.
Don't take chances with your precious hearing. Call Sonus today.
Well, our next guest was diagnosed with one of the most severe cases of Tourette syndrome. Shane, take a look at this.
You feel like a 24-hour pressure cooker, that there is a steam that's building up inside of you constantly that is released when you tick. But as soon as I let it out, the pressure started to build again. So it was constantly that pressure and release, pressure and release.
Tourette syndrome's tics can be debilitating and the spasms can make normal life impossible.
How about repeating, it is a sunny day in Cleveland, Ohio.
It is a sunny day in Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay.
In his 10th year, I just happened to be watching him from the house, and he was running across the yard, and he came to a complete standstill, and his entire body began to shake from head to toe.
That's when doctors diagnosed Jeff with an incurable disease, Tourette's syndrome.
As a child with Tourette syndrome, kids can be brutal. But when you have kids pointing and jeering and laughing constantly, it makes it very, very difficult.
Jeff was able to mask some of the symptoms with medications, but by the time he was 20, the disease was full-blown.
As I went throughout the days and the weeks, I found myself struggling more and more to do the things that I wanted to do every single day. Because I went through a whole lifetime of basically trial and error of different medications and going to hospitals and them saying, Jeff, we don't have anything else to give you, literally. It's very discouraging.
I'm gonna say something that's amazing. This gentleman here took a chance that a lot of other people would not have even bothered to take because he did something extremely experimental. But now he has really kind of set the standard for all people who suffer from Tourette's at this severe level because he was the first person to undergo this particular operation. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jeff to the show.
How are you, Montel?
Good to see you. Please, come here, sit down. Sit down for a second. And I say that, I'm looking at some of the people's looks on their faces. They're looking at you trying to figure out when's he going to do it. When's he going to do it? But it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
Talk about it. Why? Let's back up for a second. This has been your whole life.
That's right.
Just talk about what this has been like living through this, man. You know, you're a good-looking guy. You out here in a suit. I'm telling you, like, right? Life was tough.
It was crazy. You know, you think of the sensations and perceptions that you go through, your sight, your sound, your touch, all those things. And I had never known a life other than that pressure cooker that you heard about. You know, this pressure and have to release in some way. I didn't know where or when.
And you have no control of how that release is going to be. That release,
no control.
I mean, most people are aware of Tourette's and know of the auditory issues, because they'll see a person in a store yelling and screaming out things and look back and that part's crazy.
Right.
But not realize that that's Tourette's.
What I went through and endured were very, very complex motor tics. The doctors can call...
Can you look at yourself? You see yourself right now. Right, go ahead, talk about this for a minute.
The tics that you're seeing right now are called complex motor tics, meaning there's a variety of different tics all happening in subsequent session.
And then we should also say this, though we're looking at this, and everybody else who doesn't understand your illness, don't recognize how much pain this can cause. Because each time we see you flinch, that's a full-blown muscle contraction.
That's right.
That's going against joints, going against, right?
That's correct, and it's interesting that you point that out, because my parents oftentimes, my dad will say, you know, we'd sit in their living room when my brother and I lived at their home before we went to college, and my parents would get questions from family, you know, how bad are his tics? How explosive are they? And my dad says, you know, I can be in the other room, and Jeff can be in a different room, and he'll tick and sounds like his arm's breaking.
You went through a life of medication, right? You were medicated, varied medications, all kinds of medications.
All the ups
combinations,
and downs.
Every single time. Sometimes it would work for a little while, then it would stop.
Yeah, and that's one of the big downfalls of the medication is, you know, you get ramped up on it, and you go through the entrance effects, as I call them, and then you're on the medication, and it doesn't work for you, so you go through the withdrawal effects and sometimes into therapy along with the medications.
And then they start it again.
Absolutely. Cycle starts.
When did you hear about the possibility of this operation?
I actually have a friend in Pittsburgh who underwent deep brain stimulation for dystonia. I started to put two and two together, and for about 3 years I researched on my own. I called the National Institute of Health, I called Johns Hopkins, not knowing who to contact, just get me a name, you know, let me talk to someone. I started going on the internet.
And we should say that to do that, you weren't even really able to hold a phone. It's like put on speakerphone, trying to get it out.
Trying to get it out. The keyboard was next to impossible to manipulate. But you just get a desire. That nothing's going to stop me. You know, I refuse to live my life the way it is right now. I have something inside that's deeper, better, that I need to get out. And if my doctors can't help me, I'm going to do it myself.
Well, we'll take a little break. When we come back, I want you to tell them how you found this area. Well, again, through your friend. But nobody really wanted to do this, right? Because it had not been done for a Tourette's patient. What we're talking about is deep brain stimulation.
That's correct.
Which means that they actually do an operation where they implant electrodes, if you will, simplify, deep down by the brain cortex, correct?
That's correct. I'm awake through the whole procedure, too.
And you got to watch them while they do it. Let me take a break and talk about it when we come back. We'll be back right after this.
Are you friends with an ex and would like to help them find true love? If so, call us at 1-800-MONTEL-2. That's 1-800-MONTEL-2.
You can't sleep. Worry and stress keep you awake at night. Your mind is overactive and robs you of a good night's sleep. It becomes a vicious circle of fatigue and tension. If you suffer from insomnia, it could be caused by anxiety. If you have trouble sleeping and feel stressed, worried, or irritable, you may qualify for an investigational medication research study at Summit Research Network. When you can't get a good night's sleep, it's tough to deal with stress. Call Summit Research Network at 503-228-CARE.
None of us are exactly alike. Different moods, different feelings, different perspectives, and different tastes. At Keurig, we celebrate that. With over 100 varieties of premium coffees and teas from 10 leading gourmet brands, the Keurig single cup brewing system delivers a perfect cup of homebrewed coffee in under a minute. Always consistently brewed in our unique Keurig K-Cup, perfectly measured and sealed for freshness. From leading brands like Tully's, Coffee People, Green Mountain, and Gloria Jeans, in flavors from wonderfully intense dark roast to elegant, luscious French vanilla. You'll always find your personal cup. Choose the one to satisfy your individual taste, and reserve the right to change your mind at least 100 times. It's the variety of life in every cup. Available at fine retailers everywhere.
If you've been picturing yourself as a pharmacy technician, then call Apollo College. Apollo can prepare you for success in as little as 9 months. As a pharmacy technician, you can work at a drugstore or hospital pharmacy. You can make a good living and you'll be helping people with their prescriptions. To get started, call Apollo College and ask for this free video or DVD.
See how far your mind can take you with Apollo College.
Closed captioning provided by...
People all over America are discovering Lunesta. More information can be found on lunesta.com or by calling 1-800-LUNESTA.
Promotional consideration provided by the following.
What are you setting your sights on? And when you see it, will you be ready? Just pick up the phone and call in your coordinates. You'll get this free Boonie hat and DVD. Whatever you're looking for, the Army can help you find it.
Well, Jeff managed to convince his doctors to perform a radical new brain surgery called deep brain stimulation. It had never been performed on a person with Jeff's condition before. Take a look at this. On February 9th, 2004, Jeff entered the hospital for an experimental surgery called deep brain stimulation. He hoped it would change his life. Deep brain stimulation is a technique where electrodes are put into the brain. The electrodes are then connected by wires to pacemakers implanted in the chest. These pacemakers send electrical impulses that disrupt the activity of the dysfunctional cells. The procedure had never been tried on a patient with Tourette syndrome.
We knew that the risk of stroke, of paralysis, of vision failure, of even death were there.
First, doctors used MRIs and CAT scans of Jeff's brain to make a 3D map.
And there's our entry point here, and here's our entry point on this side.
Then they attached a metal halo that kept Jeff's head perfectly still during the operation. While Jeff was awake, doctors drilled quarter-inch holes into his skull, and tiny electrodes were slowly inserted deep inside his brain.
After the first surgery, there was about a week to 10 days before the second surgery would happen, and that's when they would implant the pacemakers within the pectoral muscle wall. But we all looked forward to it, hoping the best, certainly. Even a 25% tick reduction would be phenomenal, and to have 100% tick reduction within about 4.5 to 5 hours, it was truly a blessing for our family.
This is Jeff in February 2004. And this is Jeff just 1 month later. Please welcome Jeff's wife, Deb, to the show. See, talk. I got to talk to you first off, because I say welcome Jeff's wife, Deb. You met while he was ticking like what we saw.
Oh, yeah. Very much so.
Well, I guess you met, it wasn't as bad then, but it was progressing, correct?
When we met, his medications were still somewhat controlling his ticks.
But failing at the time, yes.
Yeah, but definitely failing.
So the crazy question to you is, and I mean, a lot of women would have said, yeah, nice to see you, guy. Out the door. What was it about this guy that made you decide to...
That, right there. That smile.
Yeah? Absolutely. So now, okay, so then you watch, you witness, how many years? It was 3 years when your medication started to fail, right?
Yeah.
You're married at this point in time.
Yeah.
His medication's failing. You're starting to watch your husband.
Well, actually, the medication stopped working before the marriage, before the wedding. And we learned about the possibility of having the deep brain stimulation done. And we were planning a summer wedding. As soon as we learned even the possibility of having the surgery done, we moved the wedding date up to October 16th of 2003. And we are so glad we did.
Yeah, absolutely.
You weren't there. I guess you had taken a lot of time off for multiple surgeries and that.
Yes,
for everything that was going on, and then you were there with him alongside of him. But as a matter, after they did the first surgery, then they came in and put the batteries in. I guess at some point in time they connected 2 wires together, right?
They basically leave them uncapped after the first surgery, so...
You walk around like my favorite Martian.
Exactly.
So then they actually put them back through?
Right.
Run them through your skull?
Back down through the ear, through the neck. It's all under the skin and into the pectoral wall where the batteries are implanted.
So you have 2 batteries in it, and then at some point in time, somebody had to go on off.
Yeah, basically. That was what Dr. Tina Whitney at University Hospitals of Cleveland did on March 4th of 2004. So we just passed the 2-year anniversary, which is exciting.
And your batteries last for?
The batteries approximately last for 4, maybe 5 years. Yeah. When the batteries start to get about halfway or half-life of the battery, it'll give me a yellow indicator basically signaling, hey, let's call the docs and we'll get it replaced, which is an outpatient procedure just like that.
I feel like a television show here. It's like the Bionic Man.
Yeah.
You know, honestly, now we should say that something else, a really unbelievable side benefit came out of all this, because bingo bango, you had your first child.
Absolutely.
Did you not? Congratulations.
Thank you.
Christopher.
But again, I refused to believe the doctors when they said, well, you're going to have to live with this. You don't have any more meds, so sorry. No, I was not going to deal with that.
And I'm telling you, that is the theme here. I'm telling you, we could all sit back and listen and think that they know all the answers, but if they knew all the answers, you wouldn't be sick. Thank you.
Thank you.
Got to take a little break. Got to take a break. When we come back, we're going to hear some other medical breakthroughs that could change your life, some stories. We have a doctor here who's going to go back and review some of the hottest and most sensational breakthroughs in the last couple of years. We'll take a break. We'll be back right after this.
New place, a new job, new girl, new pains. Whatever. I've got Advil, my every pain reliever. It works wherever I hurt. I'm all Advil.
Hope they're serving meatloaf.
Ooh, hun. There's a stain on that shirt.
Oh.
That's not good.
Men have their way of freshening up. And we have ours. Summer's Eve cleansing cloths. Gentle enough for sensitive skin and gynecologist tested, so you can feel fresh every day. By female standards, of course. Summer's Eve. Enjoy being a woman.
Do you want that cold sore gone now? Think fast. Think Abreva. Unlike products that just soothe, Abreva's proven to speed healing. It goes deep in the skin to help heal cold sores from the inside out. So you're you again. Fast. Think fast. Think Abreva.
Who's the man, baby? Got me some cash.
We came to Northwest Title Loans to get fast cash for our weekend getaway.
For an unexpected bill.
To get cash back in my pocket.
It only took about 15 minutes.
And all I needed was a clean and clear car title, plus a valid ID.
There were no hassles and no credit checks.
They wanted our business.
And I still have my car.
Northwest Title Loans.
Helping me get the cash I need.
For whatever.
Interest-free for 30 days with no payment for 60 days.
Hi, I'm Judy. I work at home as a medical transcriptionist.
Work at home using the latest amazing computer technology. Voice recognition. Words instantly appear on your computer screen as you speak.
She comes in today complaining of right-sided wrist pain.
Become a medical transcriptionist using this latest technology. For more information on this incredible program, call the College of Legal Arts now, 503-223-5100.
Are you friends with an ex and would like to tell them what they need to change about themselves? If so, call us at 1-800-MONTEL-2. That's 1-800-MONTEL-2.
We've been talking about incredible medical breakthroughs, and please welcome our Fox News medical contributor, Dr. Manny Alvarez, to the show. Thank you so much for being here. See a lot of your reports, do some great stuff. You were going to tell us about some really innovative, some really super-duper innovative medical breakthroughs that have been happening.
Yeah, you know, I got to tell you, these two stories that you had before, you know, they really, you know, this is the importance, and we keep saying this more and more today, is, you know, get a second opinion. I mean, I always tell my patients, you know, look, I think this is what's going on, but let's try to get a second opinion, because I may not have all the answers, and we all need help.
Talk to us a little bit. There's some things that have happened in the last couple of years, especially in the last year,
right,
that I think are so amazing. I mean, look at this situation right here. A brain implant that was working for something else, now we know will work for a different disease. This one right here, I think, blew everybody away. This is the lady who had, you guys hear about this story? That woman who had a whole face, half her face transplanted, got a new face.
Yeah, this is the, you know, we had a lot of exciting stories and a lot of medical breakthroughs, and this is a perfect example. The face transplantation, this is the first face transplantation of this patient in Europe. She was molded by a dog. She lost 3/4 of her face. Very debilitating because nobody can be without, you know, she had lost so much tissue that, you know, this was incompatible with her continuing to live a normal life. The doctors in France perform a face transplant. A lot of criticisms like we typically do, you know, all these, you know, we doctors tend to get jealous when somebody kind of beats us to the punch, and the French certainly did. But a very successful, you know, operation.
And successful, in fact, and she will be on anti-rejection medication for the rest of her life.
Yeah, that's correct.
And this is something that it's the first time this has been done. We shouldn't jump up and down and think this is going to get done again next week and the following week. It's a very, very, very time-consuming, critical kind of an operation, right?
This is a transplant. You know, this is a transplant surgery. You know, basically they took the face of somebody who was brain dead and transplanted this into her face. So this is no difference than getting a kidney transplant.
Okay, now you also have this thing that's called the CT heart scan. Tell me about that. This is a new heart scan device?
Yeah, you know, typically when you have risk assessment for heart disease, you look at your cholesterol, you do an EKG, you get your medical history. Now we're using a new technology which is a 3-dimensional CAT scan, and basically this CAT scan cuts your tissues in millimeters, if you will, of slides, and the computers and the doctors can reconstruct the entire heart. I mean, I had this done, I got to tell you. It's very, very cool, but it really can predict small deposits of calcium and therefore, you know, tell you if you're going to be at risk for, you know, clogged arteries down the line.
Wow, okay, look, I'm going to jump ahead of one. This one this is really cool. It's called the Da Vinci robot. Talk about this Da Vinci robot for a second.
Well, this is coming out of, actually from the Army. This is coming out from that kind of technology where you can go ahead and a robot, you know, because let's say, you know, we surgeons, you know, our hands can move and can shake, and with the Da Vinci robot, this robot actually operates on the human body while the surgeons are really manipulating another device that controls the whole operation.
Let me tell you about the reason why we want to go with this, because the doctor's right. The machine has the ability to make precision cuts that are so much smaller and so much more precise than a human being could ever do it. So you could probably cut down on the invasiveness of a surgery. Yeah. A surgery, you know, what used to take a doctor maybe 2 inches to open your chest up to go into your heart, this machine might be able to do in like that.
Inches, yeah.
That's amazing. I got to take a break. Thank you so much. When I come back, you know, we've been talking today about how you need to take charge of your medical care. When you get a prognosis or diagnosis, you need to ask that doctor, well, do you know somebody else I can talk to just so I can get a second opinion? Get the second opinion. Go up on the internet. See if you can find out as much information as you can find out yourself. Because sometimes, you know, doctors are busy. They may have 20 other patients with you know, bizarre maladies that they can't research them all. So you do the research for them. When we come back, our next guest has done this for herself. She battles with a disease like the one I have, which is MS, but she's proven that through some just basic skills, anybody, no matter what the disease is that you have, no matter what the illness is you have, you can deal with it a lot better if you take certain steps. She's going to teach us what those steps are when we come back. We'll be back right after this.
It's time. I'm getting my brother out of here to escape, and I need your help.
Come on, Michael!
Prison break. The escape begins. Then...
Sit down! Now!
The crew that could take down the president is at 35,000 feet and falling 24. Tonight at 8 on Fox 12 Oregon. They take good medicine into bad places. They carry guns along with their stethoscopes. Meet a local SWAT team trained for the dangerous world of emergency medicine. SWAT Medics tonight on the 10 o'clock news.
Do something that you feel good about, that you feel there's compassion and there's nobility and you're making a difference in the quality of somebody's life.
It just brings you such happiness and joy, knowing that I've made a difference.
Just give it a shot.
Pick up that phone and make that call.
And there's so many ways that they can help you get to your goal.
Medical assisting was definitely the right choice.
Call Concord now, 888-319-0887, 888-319-0887.
Introducing MedAdvantage Plus RX from Regence Blue Cross Blue Shield of Oregon. With the Medicare Part D enrollment deadline approaching, it's important to make the right choice. That's why Regence offers free information on MedAdvantage Plus RX. It can help you make informed decisions about Part D benefits. MedAdvantage Plus RX puts a cap on your annual maximum out-of-pocket expense. Medicare doesn't. MedAdvantage Plus RX has coverage for preventive dental and routine vision, something Medicare leaves out. You can choose your own doctor. There's virtually no Medicare paperwork, and you even get worldwide emergency coverage. Medicare alone just can't keep up. Call for information and attend a free seminar before the Medicare Part D deadline. So don't settle for Medicare alone. Get all the facts and choose the MedAdvantage plan that helps make the road ahead worry-free. From Regents Blue Cross Blue Shield of Oregon.
Promotional consideration provided by the following.
If you've been injured in an accident, you need to know your rights. Call the Cochran firm for a free consultation at 1-800-LAW-HELP.
Change your shape with new Dexatrim Max 2.0.
It curbs my appetite.
It kickstarts my metabolism.
For a healthy way to lose weight, new Dexatrim Max 2.0. Max out your water.
Well, a few years ago, I met an incredible woman who wouldn't allow MS to rule her life. I want you to take a look at this.
When I was diagnosed, they told me, go home and go to bed. I said, for a few days, a week. They go, no, permanently. They said, you're really lucky because you can have meals brought in your bed. You're lucky. You'll be able to operate a remote control on a TV. Here I am today. I've defied those odds. Absolutely. I didn't listen. I got in.
Absolutely. And that's what...
I went the very next day and I got a second opinion, I got a third opinion, I got a fourth opinion. They all confirmed I had MS, but they gave me different prognoses. And not all doctors will tell you the same thing. You cannot let a doctor play God for you.
And that's a fact. Please welcome the author of the book, Lean on Me. Welcome Nancy Davis to the show. How are you? Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. Have a seat.
Thank you.
Talk about this for a second. First off, why did you decide to write this book? I know the answer, but tell everybody at home why.
I had to. It was really important to me. I've seen so many people fall to pieces when they're diagnosed with any life-altering or life-threatening disease. When I was diagnosed with MS, nothing mattered. Nothing mattered in the whole world until...
I'm sorry, but let's talk about that. With your first diagnosis, doctors did to you what they've done to most of the people that were here on the show. Go home. Nothing else we can do. Sorry, it's MS. Girlfriend, go lay in bed and don't work too hard, right?
Right.
Okay.
Life's over. 33, 3 kids. You know, you don't matter anymore. Your life isn't important. Forget about it. We can't do anything.
But you immediately did something that I think, again, shows the same tenacity of some of our guests here. You wouldn't take that for an answer and did what?
I went the homeopathic route. I took a lot of vitamins. I exercised. I became very proactive. I asked everybody questions. If I was on an airplane, I was asking somebody questions. I'd ask everybody. So many people, when they're diagnosed with a disease, are so ashamed to ask people. They don't want people to know. They want people to feel sorry for them.
I'm going to give them just a little taste of this, because in the book, Lean on Me, you go through 10 steps that everybody really needs to go through when they're faced with a diagnosis that is either terminal or a diagnosis that is for a chronic illness. One, I won't read them all because I want people to buy the book so they can read it themselves. However, but one of the steps, embrace the change, fear less, never take no for an answer, find out your doctor right. Now just talk through those 4 right here, because you've got chapters on each one of them. But a lot of times people go to the doctor diagnose them, you think that you owe him something. He's the one who diagnosed me, so I better see him. But you can also go and look for Dr. Wright, correct?
Only 25% of people ever get a second opinion. When you have something catastrophic that does not have a cure for it, the opinions vary so widely. You should go to 2, 3, or 4. You need to educate yourself. You need to listen to every bit of advice, and then you need to make your own decisions. If you have a doctor who does not want you to have a second opinion, you should run out the door as fast as you possibly can. That is not a good doctor.
I got to take a little break, but what would be the first, let's say, just like yourself and myself, I mean, you walk into a doctor's office and a doctor basically gives you a diagnosis. And I get the same one you had. It's like, you know, you have MS. Nothing we can do about it. So what will be your first recommendation? A person, let's say, that just walked out of the office today watching this show, besides buy the book, what would be the first thing you would say to them? They got a diagnosis today that's one of those diagnoses like ours, terminal or a lifetime progressive chronic disease. What's the first thing you would tell them to do?
You need to accept the disease, but you do not need to accept the verdict. You need to do your homework.
Absolutely.
The more educated you are on any subject, the better you will do.
No question.
Opinions vary so much.
Absolutely. Got to take a little break. The book is called Lean on Me. Everybody in our studio audience is going to be leaving here with a copy of this book today. Got to take a little break. We'll be back right after this. Tickets. For free audience tickets, call 212-989-8101 or visit our website at www.montelshow.com.
Hi, I'm Jenny Hendershot. Fitness training is a rapidly growing industry, and the fitness trainer program at Ashmead College can help you be a part of it in less time than you think. Talk about flexibility. By being your own boss, you can set your own schedule and work when it's most convenient for you. Get started on your career today.
For a brochure, call Ashmead College at 888-548-1649. That's 888-548-1649. Call now.
Are you still paying too much for internet, TV, and phone service? Then listen up. It's time to do the math and save with Quest. Add up what you're currently spending and see how much you can save by bundling with Quest. The savings will surprise you. Call now and get our best value ever. For under $93 a month, you get Quest high-speed internet with a super-fast dedicated connection. Direct TV service with 100% digital quality picture and sound on every channel. And digital voice with unlimited local and long distance. It's reliable phone service you can count on. Call today and get a better bundle with Quest. It's high-speed internet, direct TV service, and digital voice with unlimited local and long distance. And right now, it's all for under $93 a month. Don't miss out. When it comes to bundling, cable simply can't compare. Stop spending too much. Switch to Quest and start saving today. Compare, bundle, and save. Call Quest today at 1-866-371-6284. That's our spirit of service.
You can make a difference with a career in criminal justice from Everett's College. You could be working for law enforcement agencies, correctional institutions, juvenile justice, investigations, or the court system. This is an exciting field for men and women who want to make a difference. Classes are forming now, so call Everest College today for a brochure or campus tour. Call 1-800-515-9641.
Take a look at what we're working on for tomorrow's show.
Human sex trafficking, not just a problem overseas. Thousands of girls are enslaved right here at home.
Why was I so cold? Why did I believe him?
Here's one story you'll never forget. Kidnapped, tortured, held captive for years in a warehouse with dozens of other girls forced to become sex slaves.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg.
How did she escape? Her whole shocking story on the next Montel.
I'm almost out of time. I'm sitting here talking to Nancy again. The book is called Lean on Me by Nancy Davis. Powerful steps to moving beyond your diagnosis and taking back your life. And I'm going to tell you something. That's one of the most important things. Most people think when you walk in again and the doctor says something, I'm not putting doctors down, but if they were God, I wouldn't have a disease. So they're not. So obviously, when you walk in, once they give you the diagnosis, I said to my doctor, wait, don't tell me I need to go home and lay down. You don't know me. I'll figure this out. So I went to find somebody else who told me, you don't have to go lay down. And I didn't. And I'm not going to. And that's what you should do. So if you have a similar story to today's show, or you'd like to be a possible guest on a future show, contact us at our website, which is www.montelshow.com, and take the advice. Get a second opinion. Take control of your health care. Lean on me. Thank you so much, Doc, for being here. Thank all of our guests for being here. Join us on the next one.
Now you can build your own newscast. Click on KPTV.com to find